A war of words on Facebook turns into an all-out brawl involving teenagers and parents.
A national anti-bullying organization is tonight adding its voice to the call for something to be done about online bullying.
Cyberbullying, though, is still growing strong.
Carlos was a student at Los Lunas High School who took his own life after posting on Twitter that he was a victim of bullying.
Name-calling between two teenagers on Facebook.
How am I going to protect my children who are more likely to get bullied on Facebook?
Hey, what's up? You have, and it's been taken out. But
from the failure to prevent the suicide of what police say was a bullied 12-year-old girl, bullied online for 10 months.
Harassed, tortured.
Cyberbullying.
Cyberbullying. Words can even kill.
It's got to stop.
Online bullying.
It's got to stop. 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 To stop.
Cyberbullying is intentionally causing harm through the use of a computer, cell phones, or other electronic devices, usually practiced by teens and preteens. Examples of cyberbullying: direct harassment through IMs, texts, and emails on social networking sites like MySpace or Facebook, impersonating others in order to give out personal information or verbally attacking others, sending or posting sexual or degrading pictures, posting internet polls that degrade or hurt someone, such as hot or not polls, creating social network profiles to harass or humiliate someone.
I am Special Agent Anthony Mays with the Attorney General's Office, Internet Crimes Against Children Unit. We work every day to help make sure you're safe when you go online because there are some very dangerous people who want to harm you. Everyone has probably heard about cyberbullying. It is defined as an action that supports deliberate, repeated, and hostile behavior by an individual or group that is intended to harm or harass and shame someone. Young people have committed suicide after becoming victims of cyberbullying. Obviously, there can be very serious legal consequences for the perpetrators. Report cyberbullying to law enforcement or a trusted adult. Do you really want to be responsible for someone taking their own life? Using the internet and personal communication devices can be fun, educational, and convenient. It's how you use technology that can result in the deadly unintended consequences.
Sexting is the sending or receiving of sexually suggestive or explicit text or pictures using a cell phone. Cyberpredation is using the internet to find, lure, stalk, and victimize underage youth.
when teenagers are sexting, what's literally happening when a girl takes a picture of herself in like a pinup girl pose or like something along those lines, but she doesn't have her clothes on? What is she actually doing?
And she's under the age of 18, she's manufacturing child pornography. And when she sends that image out, that image, of course, can go anywhere in the world on the internet. So she becomes a victim, and her information has to be sent by law enforcement to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, because she is now an identified victim. And then the person that receives that sexting image is in possession of child pornography. But if you have like two teenagers, he's 16, 17, and she's 15, and he said, hey, take a picture of yourself nude and send it to me. She's manufacturing child pornography, he's receiving.
The message to the kids is when you make and send this stuff, you are implicating two people.
That's correct, yes. And in some states, they've actually become registered sex offenders. The district attorney's offices have gone after that individual, that 17-year-old, and have charged them with possession of child pornography.
Protecting your personal information. What is your personal information? Things that are specific to you, including information that identifies you. This includes your full name, address, social security number, bank account numbers, and passwords. Your personal information can be used against you if it falls into the wrong hands. If your personal information is not protected, cyberbullies, for example, can post your information on the internet or hack into your profiles to impersonate you. Internet predators can use your personal information to stalk, exploit, or even find you. Identity thieves can use your identity to steal your money or open accounts in your name.
Now, we have seen some cases of sextortion, and sextortion have been cases where a person tells a person, they get them to take a picture of themselves a sexually explicit picture, and they send it to this person, and they say, well, I want you to take another one, and I want you to be doing this. And then that child states to, usually an adult, I'm not going to do that. And then the adult extorts the child and tells the child, if you don't do that, I'm going to put your picture on there, and everyone's going to see what you sent me. But if you do this, it's just going to be between you and me. And that continues to happen. And we've had at least 10 of those cases over the last year.
10? At
least. Now, the Federal Bureau of Investigation has actually taken some of those cases because we can easily show an interstate nexus. So they're more than willing to look at that. So we're looking at federal time then.
How widespread do you think this sextortion thing probably is?
Oh, I think it's very widespread. I mean, I believe only maybe 1 out of 5 are reporting. I mean, people are intimidated. Sometimes they only report because they're caught by their parents. Their parents are checking their history, internet history, and they stumble across this. I mean, recently we had a case involving a smartphone. Mom decides to check her daughter's smartphone and finds out that her daughter's being exploited.
The FBI says this man, here's his picture, Richard Leon Finkbeiner, threatened to post compromising pictures of teenage boys on gay porn websites if the boys refused to perform sex acts during a video call. The FBI says this guy admits having at least 100 victims, most of them boys between the ages of 14 and 16.
Well, what he did is he tricked them. He represented himself to be someone else, and what we allege he did was he acquired information that he could use to blackmail them. And he basically threatened to provide that to his friends or to other sites on the internet to get him to do what he wanted done. And because he was targeting people who were underage, they weren't equipped to deal with anything like this.
I understand that in an email that's within this criminal complaint against this guy, it reads, quote, if you do what you're told, the vid will never be seen by anyone but me. So that goes to your point about, these victims had reason, obviously, to worry.
Well, it's important that people understand things like this can happen to juveniles. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that a responsible adult is prepared to listen to that the juvenile will say what's going on, and that information will come forward to authorities who can stop it.
I personally don't like the term sexting. I call it what I believe it is, and that is self-produced child pornography.
A survey of more than 1,200 teens shows more than 10% report being pressured to send naked images. 8% report being threatened with digital blackmail.
I mean, the most infamous case, perhaps in the nation, happened in the Milwaukee area with Anthony Stansel.
18-year-old Anthony Stansel, a former New Berlin high school student, is serving 15 years in prison for sextortion.
We began this as an investigation into a bomb scare.
Waukesha County District Attorney Brad Schimmel prosecuted the case.
It took an awful lot of calculation, took an awful lot of planning to accomplish what he did, to compromise so many people and to get them to do this.
The honors student got more than 30 boys to send him naked photos of themselves by posing as a female on Facebook. He then blackmailed several boys into sexual acts by threatening to share those pornographic images. Schimmel says similar cases afterward cause him to worry kids have yet to get the message.
I hope their parents are, and I hope their parents are taking steps to know what's on their phone.
Because sexting between peers leads to a whole world of dangerous possibilities and lasting consequences, sometimes deadly consequences.
Kids need to understand that when they take these types of photographs, or if they turn on their web camera, the person on the receiving end can easily record that.
Reported on MSNBC, nude photos of a 16-year-old in Cincinnati were circulated around her school after she broke up with her boyfriend. This led to severe harassment by her classmates and eventually to her suicide. Your photos can be even manipulated to look like something or someone else. Your photos can be morphed, for example, your head on someone else's nude body. How to protect your personal information. Do not post identifying information on your profiles or in a blog. Keep your profiles private or friends only. Ask friends not to post your personal information or photos on the internet. Don't send sexually explicit photos of yourself or anyone else.
Report cyberbullying and cyber predators to your parents or another adult you trust, your teacher, counselor, or administrator at your school, law enforcement by filing a report with local police. Contact Cyber Tip Line 1-800-843-5678.